Hi everyone, welcome to the very last 2023 episode of the Inquisition. Tonight we have Inferno Miniatures coming on, and I'm going to send you an invite now, mate, so accept my invite. Alright, ADHD Minis, how you doing, mate? Always good to see you, my friend. Hope we're all well this wintry Wednesday evening. It is absolutely Baltic, but my heating's been fixed, so it is now a good day. Once again, struggling to get people in. Right. Cancelled it, and then I'm going to invite you again, mate. On you go. I sent the invite there. Alright, Dungeon Daddy 20, hope you're well, mate. Alright, Dazmol, thanks for joining, mate.
Yeah. Too shy, mate. Too shy.
Yeah, mate, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. I like the intro. Very, very fitting. I brought this to show you, actually. The old...
Mate, that's absolutely brilliant, by the way. Honestly.
Look on it. The old Funhouse jacket. Unfortunately, I was the yellow team, so I definitely lost. The yellow team always would be lost. Do you know what I mean? So I thought you might like that. I thought you were going to get some sort of Funhouse reference on. So there you go. The Funhouse jacket.
It's absolutely brilliant. So for those that don't know, back in the day, Inferno was on Funhouse as a fucking... How old were you, mate, when you were on?
First year. So like 11, 12. First year of secondary school. Which then, obviously, because we lost really badly, was then I was the kid that lost on Funhouse for the next 5 years of my life. So I think that's why I turned to painting models.
Me and you have discussed this over the last few months. Like, there was a girl in my school who went on Funhouse and she won, but anytime, her name was Courtney, and anytime she walked down the corridor, like for years, all you heard was her getting like bullied basically over the Funhouse theme tune.
Yeah, I mean, I just got the theme tune sang at me loads. But to be fair, if you lost on Funhouse, you got an Atari Lynx. So, I mean, at the time, I was buzzing. Do you know what I mean? I had California Games on an Atari Lynx when I was 11. So it's like Christmas for me. They could sing the song all day long and I'd still have the Atari Lynx, you know what I
mean? and how long did it take to like film an episode? Was it like an all-day thing or was it?
Yeah, the magic of television. So like, you know, if you did a game and you got gunged in the game, you'd go off and get changed and then they'd sponge gunge onto you to make it look like you'd run straight from the game.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was all day, yeah. As I say, the magic of television.
Yeah, you must have been buzzing when you got, like, did you have to audition or was it just like you kind of wrote in like Jimmy Savile and they fixed it for you?
There was like eight forms in my year, so you all put your name into a hat in each form. 2 got drew from each form, and then you went to the drama studio and then basically had to show off for an hour. And as you know, that's perfectly up my street. So I seeked some attention for about an hour and a half and got picked. So there you go.
And what did your family say about it? Like when you get picked, were they like, was your dad like pure like, oh my god, what's going on here? And your mum buzzing, or totally. Your brothers or sisters?
Yeah, they were. Yeah. It was I mean, there's a bit where they interview me and they say, you know, so you like computer games, Richard? What's your favourite computer game? And like a smaller me's like Street Fighter 2. So yeah, no, it was cool. It was my 5 minutes of fame, I think. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's entitled to 5 minutes. Mine was Funhouse.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Just want to say, Pens can't make it tonight. Something's came up very last minute and he was absolutely raging. And Simon's running a bit late. Simon's running a bit late tonight.
You see him? Is he outside? Yeah,
that's what I was like. No, it's just like I seen a truck there and I thought it was coming up my drive. But Casey, I don't think it's going to make it. He's had to do something.
Yeah, no worries.
And Simon's running a bit late. But so it's just maybe me and you this now anyway. So how you doing, mate? How you keeping?
Good, yeah, totally good. Still working hard up to Christmas. Can't wait to get some time off to get some painting done. So, finish on Thursday. So 2 weeks off, and then I'll be eating the table as much as I can over that 2 weeks with a bit of family. I'll have to see some humans for a couple of days, I think, and then I can just look at plastic people then for 2 weeks. Fingers crossed.
And you and the missus have much like planned for like Christmas and New Year? Are you staying at the house, or are you going to like each other's parents or something?
Don't see the parents Christmas Day, and then that's it really. So just chill, literally just chill. And I say I'll probably be painting for most of it. I know it sounds pretty boring, but that's cool, isn't it? Painting for 2 weeks, perfect.
So for those who don't know, Richard's already been on here before, so it's kind of just it's just going to be like a kind of hang out and chat. So if anybody's got any questions for Richard, I've got some questions to ask him, obviously. But if anybody's got any questions for Richard about his funhouse days or anything about painting or anything about building or his 50,000 part-time jobs that he has, then fire them in the chat and we'll ask them as many questions as you want. I just want to say, Richard, thanks again for all your gifts and all the kind of graphic work that you do for the Inquisition. Like, you're kind of an unsung hero with Inquisition.
I mean, if I can help,
I just want to say thanks.
I just love what you guys are doing. I mean, from day one, I've always sort of been really into the community stuff, whether it's the competitions, giving people advice on how to paint if they want to listen or not, So it's just great what you're doing, and I just love how much it's grown. I really love the chemistry between you three. I think it really works.
Thanks.
It's mint. It's so good. And, if I can knock together some graphics and to help you out, then I will. And, if you can do something and share it, you should, I think. So if you need it and I've got the time, I'll do it. And, it's not for anything. I don't want anything for it. It's just, I just think what you're doing is mint, and if I can help, I will.
Well, we've been trying to get a lore person on for the last few months as well. I've been reaching out to Lewitton, I've reached out to a few people, and I've stumbled across another lore master type person, a guy called Sandman of Terror. Right. I think that's what his name is. He's agreed to come on in February. Now, his YouTube channel's pretty good because he does it with Tripster. Right. They do a kind of different take on lore where they read books and they go on about the lore, but then it's their interpretation. So it's quite good watching them. So he's agreed to come on the Legends show. He confirmed today he agreed to come on the Legends show on February the 4th. So we are pretty much packed all through. So we already got.
I mean, what I really love is just the range of guests. I mean, there's been a few that really stuck out for me. So the Boltstorm Wargaming one, just to see, a group of guys that have put their time, energy, and jobs on hold to do something in the gaming world was really interesting. Also, the Peachy one, to see how his hands were tied and how he worked within a company. So doing it for a job, that was really interesting for me. The range is great, from painting or like Orc Daggers. I mean, I'm not a gamer. I'm really not a gamer. I'm a painter. So, I don't know much about lore. I don't know much about the games. But the Orc Daggers one really made me want to play. When he was talking about orcs being shooty or not, and the looting thing. I obviously know the basics. I'm not daft, but that really made me want to play. It really did really inspire me. When him and Simon were talking, especially, and and they were vibing off each other and winding each other up on games nights. It really made me want to get involved. So I just think the variety of the guests, and I was just talking about you, Simon.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Good things or bad things. If you don't, it's bad things, wasn't it?
It was just saying about Orc Daggers, and it made me want to play, not being a player, and saying about orcs being shooty or not, and you two having a bit of a repartee, and winding each other up on the games nights and that. It was, I was just saying the variety is brilliant.
Yeah, we've played each other a few times, me and Daz.
So it made me want to play that. He was a really good guest. I really enjoyed that one. And the Boltstorm gaming one.
So we've got a question already from ADHD Minis, and we've also got a wee cheeky request for advice from Rage Exile. So first of all, ADHD Manny says, where did you get your lamp from? I'm also interested because my lamp broke. And Rage says he needs some NIDS advice for his NIDS. So what kind of advice do you need, Rage? Is it like painting, or is it more to do with playing with NIDS, or is it more that you've got like seaside nipples and you don't see a doctor or something? Let us know let us know and we'll let you know.
So this lamp,
Yeah,
it's a Green Stuff World arc lamp. So it's a daylight one. It's
Got mine from August.
there you go. You see,
And it's got a magnifying glass on it as well. Look.
see, double whammy. You have to wear the goggles. I have to wear the goggles. You see as well. You've got the double whammy of no goggles, and it was probably
No
cheaper.
goggles and a magnifying glass.
Yeah, perfect. But yeah, it's a GSW one, and it's great. You know, other brands are available.
I must say, it make me jealous because Argos pulled out of Republic of Ireland, so we've no longer got any Argoses anymore, which is quite sad. I have to go into the north now. I have to go to the north and get me up north to go and get a lamp. So he says, I've undercoated my NIDS black, but I can't get the red to set. It's all patchy and blotchy.
Is this for me, or is this for Simon? Anybody?
Well, for both of you, because you are both painters, so if you both want to kind of give your opinion on what he could do to make his red a bit better and not patchy and blotchy.
What reds are you using for starters? Could be the paint.
I mean, I don't have much experience with Tyranids, but I do undercoat most of my models black. I mean, I think it's the Duncan Rhodes technique a little bit, to be honest, which is a couple of thin coats, keep going, build it up, start dark, work up, just keep applying it. Eventually, it will take. And then once you get your shade on it, or start adding your highlights, it'll hide some of the blotchiness, I guess. But red does look good over black, or you can try dark brown instead.
So for people that don't know, and they may have missed the first time Richard was on, Richard is also affiliated with Green Stuff World now as well.
Wait a minute,
Well,
sorry. We might just have found the culprit. It's just normal acrylic red from the works. Yeah, you've got shit paint. Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, summed up. Yeah, change the paint. Yeah,
Change
yeah.
to red. Change the paint.
I absolutely
Definitely.
agree. That's why it's blotchy. In fact, one thick coat, just use Chimera. You know.
Sorry, carry on.
So as I was saying there before we found out you've got shite reds, Richard is affiliated with Green Stuff World. I must say, of all the pieces that you've done with Green Stuff World so far this year, I must say your back arrow was delicious. How's it been going working with Green Stuff World? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's perfect. I mean, you know, I don't get paid for it or anything. You know, it's not a job by any stretch, but it's just really nice for them to send me a bit of kit and to do the tutorials is the main thing. You know, I really like the tutorial side of it. They might not get the most likes, but I'm not too fussed about that. It's more, if one person uses them and they're helpful, you know, it's nice. I've had a couple of messages of people that have used the tutorials. And as I say, I'm not the best painter in the world, but it's the idea is it's accessible. You know, some of these top painters, following some of their tutorials that are a couple of hours long, you know, it's difficult. So these short and sharp kind of, you know, 4 layers of dry brush or little cheats or how to make your minis look cool in 4 or 5 steps, you know, that's the rewarding bit of it. And it's great to get a bit of free paint, of course it is, I'm not going to lie. So it's been great, and they let you do whatever you want, pretty much. You know, you can paint what you want, how you want to paint it, as long as you know, you're trying to teach people, which, you know, is great. I love it.
And your Kermit the Frog was pretty cool as well. So how was it? How much different was it going from the back arrow? How long did that take you compared to the Kermit the Frog?
It's a funny one. The Batgirl was, because it's big, you kind of think it's going to be intimidating, but it's very different to a Games Workshop model. So, Simon, you painted Morty, you know, and that is a big old detailed thing in it. And, you know, it's sort of, I can imagine it being quite intimidating. You know, I've done one, but with the bust, because it's a bigger scale, it's more like sort of painting. You know, you've got loads more room to, you know, it's not 28 mil, it's massive. So the Batgirl took a day, maybe two, because, you know, undercoated black, dry brushed it higher and higher and higher, and then glazed dipping ink, you know, which gave it that sort of look that made it look all blended. It was a really easy, quick win. And then, you know, you just sort of take a bit longer on the details. So bizarrely, you know, I couldn't recommend it enough, is paint something at a bigger scale, because you can use the techniques you've learned on the smaller stuff, and it's easier to do. Whereas, like, you know, the lion, Crike, it was like an albatross around my neck. It took months and months and months and months, you know, and it's half the size. So the Batgirl was, I'm not saying it was easy, but yeah, I could easily show somebody how to get that really nice effect, because it's big, you know. There's less details on that than a dreadnought, you know, is what I'm saying.
And how about the Kermit the Frog? How long did that take you to do? That's right to a chainsaw wielding
Again,
Kermit.
it was a little quick one. That was just a bit of fun. I mean, I love Kermit. I mean, he's up there as well. But again, it was a quick one. You know, it was green, glazing the shadows, bit of dry brushing. So again, it was a quick one. You know, I just don't think you have to necessarily. I mean, character pieces and all the rest of it, spend some time on. But I think there's so many ways you can get your rank miniatures, troop miniatures to look so good with a few ways to cut corners. And yeah, some painters turn the nose up at dry brushing and, you know, heavy washing and glazing. But I just think it's, you know, it's a great way to add some, you know, to ramp your troops up a bit, you know.
And just my last question before I pass over to Simon, if he's got anything to ask you, can you give us any spoilers? I'm back. So sorry, my question was, coming into 2024, is there any wee projects you can give us a wee sneaky talk about with Green Stuff World, or are you
Yeah,
sworn
I mean,
to say?
you know, I mean, they're bringing out loads more models. They're doing a lot of 3D printing. They seem to be adding to the range week in, week out. They're really throwing the kitchen sink at the paint range and the models. So, you know, they're doing a lot of the STLs for the 3D printers like Neko Galaxy and loads of cool independent brands that aren't Games Workshop, but, you know, it's other models. So there's loads of busts, loads of new resin models coming out. They work with Daka as well. So there's loads of really cool pieces coming out. They're all compatible with Warhammer. And yeah, I'm jumping on that really. I mean, I've been with them long, so I've just about got used to the paint. I'm still doing that. I've got all the Games Workshop paints up there, and I have to kind of still compare, go, oh, Arachnid green is this green, you know, that skin's, because I've always painted with Games Workshop or Scale. So I'm now used to the paints. It's nice getting used to their other stuff and their new stuff. So the next stuff I'll be getting off them, hopefully, will be more physical stuff, you know, some more printed pieces, some basing stuff. I'm not very good at basing. I always shy away from it. So it'll be nice to, I mean, they're sort of famous for that, aren't they? The modelling stuff. So it'll be nice to have a bash at that, see how I get on with that.
On you, Simon, you got anything you want to ask?
I was just having a quick look at the chat. So Raid said, any tips for dry brushing with ADHD minis sort of already answered him. Don't use kitchen roll to remove the paint. Use some old prime mini parts glued to some moldboard and dampen the brush beforehand. Yeah, fair, and that's basically the answer. There you go.
Yeah.
So going back to Green Stuff World, I mean, there's been quite a few in the past, especially from Hellstorm Wargaming, some controversial videos made about them. What have you seen those or?
No, I mean, you know, you hear certain buzzes around when you know, I don't know if it was necessarily the coolest brand when yeah, I've always known about them for their basing and their modelling kit, and that's how they seem to be famous. I don't really know the politics of the business or how it's run, but I mean, the products are great, and they really wanted to start pushing a new paint brand. So I got sent some, I tried it and I liked it, and they asked me to join. And I mean, it is about as simple as that, really. I mean, I think the paint's great. You know, I don't know about these videos, but you know,
yeah,
I'm a bit like that with the Games Workshop stuff as well. Like when you had Peachy on, and you know, he was talking about, you know, the money men running, you know, how things are done and not talking to the creatives, and people still buy loads of Games Workshop stuff and all the paints.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's a few channel, they've given a few YouTubers channel strikes for mentioning. I think there was something to do with. I think it's the shifter paints. There was something to do with that where there was two companies basically making the same thing, and Green Stuff Worlds had the rights to the name or something.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about that. I mean, some of the paints I've got some, like, you know, Yoda green. I mean, I don't know if they've got away with that one, or like Darth, you know, Darth black or whatever. But yeah, I mean, the politics side of things, I don't know much about.
Okay. So, what's on your hobby desk at the minute? What's next on the agenda?
At the moment, I've got, I don't know if you can see that, a little Gene Stealer guy, the little medic dude that has his mate, you know, the one with the little potion bottle that comes with him. So I've got that to finish. I've got a half-finished Catacross, you know, the AOS undead thing. And my ironic speed painting Blood Bowl team, which has taken me about 3 years. But every time I paint one, it takes about an hour. But it's what I fit in between the sort of palette cleansers, the Blood Bowl.
So is Blood Bowl something that you want to start playing? Well,
I used to
not.
play it as a kid. They were the two games. Necromunda and Blood Bowl is what I played when I was in my teens. And then a little bit of 40k at the store and a little bit of Warhammer. But yeah, I've bought Blood Bowl with a view to playing. And I've got, you know, Kill Team and various other games, but Blood Bowl was always my favourite game growing up. That's what I used to play. You know, that was what I played, that and Necromunda at the time. So yeah, I mean, Blood Bowl's kind of them guilty pleasures. I can't stop buying stuff for it, even though I'll probably never get around to painting it. It's shameful, but I've probably got about 5 or 6 teams and the game unpainted. I mean, I've only got around to painting half the team, my undead team. But I thought if I did it speed painting, I might start getting through it. But it still seems to be years down the line. I love the models, so. But yeah, I'd love to get back into playing Blood Bowl.
Do you play Blood Bowl? Do you play Blood Bowl, Simon?
I used to play it loads when I was a kid. I played one game of season 2, which I really enjoyed. But it's time and money, isn't it? All the time with anything. So it's getting.
Haven't you? You can't catch them all.
I'd like to play it. It's just there's that much going on. I mean, I'm sitting here now and I'm staring at 20 grey berserkers, a grey Lord Invocatus, 6 grey Termagants, and some grey Rippers. They're just staring at me like, paint me
Stop
paint me now.
That's the spare hammer thing. It was, you know.
Finding the time to do
stuff. I had to just let stuff go. I was like, I'm never going to paint it. And, you know, I started buying weird stuff like, you know, The Thing, the board game, you know, because it came with some like cool John Carpenter miniatures. And it was like, you know, it just started piling up. And it's like, you know, give it away. You know, there's only so many hours in the day and only so many models you can paint.
Walkgate Studios has just joined us. The super duper influencer from the States is here.
And so and Sandman of Terror, who, as I was saying earlier before you came on, Simon, is going to be a future guest on the Inquisition. He's our lore master. He jump onto his YouTube channel. He's got pretty good content there, if I must say. Fell down his channel and I've just been stuck on it the last few months. He's coming on in February, so hello to Sandman of Terror as well, future guest. So hi. That was, and also, folks, don't forget Boltstorm Wargaming in Leek, which is not a made-up town, which Simon goes to frequently. They roll out the red carpet for Simon. We can buy all sorts of bolts, wars, and games, as well as storms. They are our sponsor.
I went on Monday. They didn't roll out the red carpet, which
shame on them.
Shame.
I even said I actually did message in the group. I actually did message in the group chat. I've just hit 14k. Get the red carpet out. When I walked in, no red carpet.
Yeah,
I'm not standing for this treatment anymore.
You bloody tell them.
But yeah, it's a very good place with very nice people. It's a very nice little community in Leek, Staffordshire, which is a real place.
Good sandwiches around the corner.
There's what? Sorry.
Good sandwiches around the corner, isn't there?
There's loads of pubs in Leek. To be honest, I went on a night out in Leek the other week, and it was there was just pubs everywhere. I didn't realise how many pubs there were in Leek.
So apart from painting for yourself in Green Stuff World and doing your normal job, what else do you do to unwind of a day, Mr. Richard?
I'm a bit of a Lego nerd as well. Do like me Lego. I've got one of my best mates. He's got a little independent Lego shop where he buys, sells, and trades it. And I sort of help him out on the weekends sometimes. So I mean, that's just collecting. I mean, it's just I do like the Lego and the painting and window fitting. So yeah, that's about it. I do like collectibles as well. So any small kind of action figures, whether it's Turtles or Star Wars or anything like that, I kind of I think anything in small scale I must have always had an affinity with. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's Lego Men or Warhammer or whatever. So.
And who would your favourite turtle be? And if it's not Michelangelo, if it's not Michelangelo, you're dead to me.
It is Michelangelo, always. I mean, I can't help it. It's from being a kid as well. I mean, I'm not going to change my mind because he might be the uncool one, but he's a pie dude. You know what I mean? It's definitely the best one.
Right. What about you, Simon? Who's your favourite turtle?
Got to be Raphael for Simon, I reckon.
Yes.
So Raphael. I mean, I think I've got Mikey about me. I think you could be a Donnie, and I think Penge could be Leo. You know, done.
I used to actually back in the day before when Turtles was as Eastman and Laird comic. I used to like Raphael, then Michelangelo, then Donatello, then Leonardo.
Leonardo was definitely last. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely last.
Yeah, he was definitely the most work turtle, wasn't
he's
he?
just the I'm in charge and I'm very level-headed and I'm going to tell you what to do, and it's like, nah, it's not that.
Yeah.
But apparently, in the original comic, Michelangelo and Raphael were like best mates because Michelangelo was light-hearted, whereas Raphael was very, very
dark side.
So he balanced him out. He kept him sane.
And he had a cool black suit as well at one point in the comics, Raphael. A full black suit, like a Venom suit, which I quite liked.
Well,
Even Binky went full goth.
The last surviving turtle is Michelangelo. Then he becomes the Ronin when everyone else dies.
Spoilers, man! Spoilers.
But yeah,
I didn't tell you how they all died or anything, but he becomes the Ronin.
My mum had to try and stop me going down the grate outside when I was a kid because I was going to try and look for the turtle. She had to pull me out the grate before I climbed down. I used to love the turtles. I used
to love Splinter and Reebok and Rocksteady. Like they were just the baddies were actually quite good as well. Like
some mint baddies, yeah, definitely.
It's like when we used to play Thundercats when we were wee as well, and nobody ever wanted to go Lion-O.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to be the leader. It's like nobody ever wanted to be the Red Power Ranger either.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was always green, wasn't it? Or if it was Thundercats, probably. Is it Tigra?
I always wanted to be Panthro. Panthro.
Yeah.
You had definitely Panthro. And you had definitely Raphael.
I never had a Lino figure. I had all the others apart from Lino. I didn't have a toy. Didn't even have the toy.
Do you remember Mumra? So you got Mumra, the Ever Living, and if you say tokens off the back of the action figures, you could send off the one where he was a mummy.
Yeah.
You know, the first one. And they all came with like rings, didn't they? You could plug them into the back and their eyes would light up. Thundercats. Oh!
10 points if you can name the two young ones in Thundercats.
He's right.
Now we're talking my language. I'm in.
That
and He-Man as well. I used to love He-Man. I've got the what's the He-Man game? Where is it?
Oh, the one that's made by the Dungeons and Lasers guys.
Yeah, it's a Polish brand, isn't it? And let me see what it's called. Sorry, I'll just Battleground. It's a Battleground. It's like a skirmish one. But the models are mint. The models are really cool.
Yeah,
it was a golden age of TV. It was a golden age of TV.
Oh, totally. Yeah, totally. You know, and all made up to sell toys. But yeah, He-Man, loved He-Man, loved Thundercats, Turtles, you know. I mean, I'll just show you this. This is talking about weird stuff. This was like a fiver from a toy shop. Check this out. It's a transforming Postman Pat. I mean, this is like the crossover you never needed. So you've got Postman Pat, and he turns into like an Optimus Prime style van. Do you know what I mean? Who's thought of that? You know, let's combine Postman Pat with Transformers. So cool.
What does Jess turn into?
Yeah, not
Is Jess a
Decepticon.
Decepticon?
I bought about 7 of these and gave them to all my friends. I was just like, this is the coolest toy, you know. Screw Toy Story, Postman Pat Transformer.
Is this where we find out that Jess is a Decepticon all along?
Yeah. It turns into a cool plane. You know. Who was your favourite Transformer?
I was never a Transformer guy.
Oh, weren't you?
No.
Yeah, I like Soundwave. You know, the beat.
You like what? Which one?
Soundwave. You know, the one that turned into like.
There were the cassettes with the
Ravage,
with the cassettes and Ravage and Laserbeak and Rampage and all those.
Voice, you know, I'm not going to try and do it, but yeah, the Soundwave.
Guess what mine was? Because you've been right up now.
It's either Megatron or Starscream.
Oh no, Grimlock.
Oh no, yeah, I'm having that. That makes sense. Yeah, Grimlock, very cool. The dinosaur, the T-Rex type one. Yeah, and it had like a gold head. Yeah.
When the Dinobots came out, I was all about the Dinobots.
Yeah. Do you remember Zoids?
Yes.
I remember them.
Like crap Transformers. You know, quite like Zoids.
And trivia question: what came first, GoBots or Transformers?
GoBots.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, GoBots.
You mentioned that in an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's how I know that. Yeah, that's the only reason why I know that.
Most people do think it's Transformers because obviously that was the bigger one, and they thought GoBots was a knockoff, but actually GoBots are the original and Transformers is a knockoff.
Yeah, throw on the Transformers in the bin, get on eBay, get some GoBots.
Yeah, but GoBots for shit.
Definitely.
Here's a question that everybody will have I guarantee everybody will have a different answer on. Who's your favourite of the original 3 films? Who's your favourite Star Wars character?
Well, Boba Fett. I mean, I know it's a cliche. It is a cliche, but for the Fat Man or Bosk, just for even more random bounty hunter vibes. But yeah,
it depends what you're talking about. You're talking about favourite like background characters. You're talking like the main characters.
Good point. Yeah, I'm having that.
Just like my least favourite character. I can tell you who my least favourite character is.
Now it's your least favourite.
Well, without thinking, I can tell you who my least favourite character is. Wedge. He's a fucking coward.
Do you know what? Right?
He fucked off. Right, wait, I'll explain it. Right, he fucked off and left Luke in the Death Star fucking trench and let poor Biggs die for fuck all. Right.
Right.
And he never argued. He took the first opportunity and got the fuck out of Dodge. Right, and the Empire Strikes Back. He fucks off and leaves Luke's again.
Yeah, he does.
And then in Return of the Jedi, he goes into the Death Star before the Millennium Falcon. So he knew that the Millennium Falcon was going to get blown up. Yeah.
The other thing, right, when Obi-Wan Kenobi comes out of that fucking cave, right, he's a Jedi, right, his one job, right, is keep your eye on that fella. Keep your eye on that fella, right? You're a Jedi, one of the greatest Jedi. So, Ben? Oh, Ben. I don't remember that name. You're a Jedi, of course you remember your own name. Do you know what I mean? That is lame. As if old Ben, I used to know by that name once.
You've also got to remember that Ewan McGregor went in there where it was like in the Obi-Wan series. Ewan McGregor's probably in his late 40s, early 50s, and then about 10 years later, he's Alec Guinness.
Alec Guinness, yeah.
So he should really be in like his mid to late 50s, and he looks about 80.
Yeah, like still a bit of brown in the beard, just a bit of grey hair in there. Still quite dusty. Still knows he's called Old Ben for a start.
So Tatooine is really, really harsh on the skin.
I know the Force is strong with this one, but what am I called again? Come on.
But there's an actual reason, right? I don't know if any of you have read any of the expanded universe books, right? But I read / listen to the Kenobi book, which was out before the Kenobi TV series, like way before. It's a totally different story, but it actually explains in that book how he looks so aged between Revenge of the Sith, and
Like
it's
the
because
dark
of the
saber, they changed the story of the bloody dark saber as well to say.
and it's because of the son, and like because he was like speaking to some woman, some trader, and she went, "You need to keep your hood up," and he was like, "Why?" He says, "Well, some guy went to like get ready for a kind of movie, like to the make movies in Star Wars, obviously, and he said he spent 3 months in the desert, and it looked as though he had aged 10 years." So they pretty much explained that in
So
like a
They
whole
shoehorn
paragraph
that in,
of a
don't
book.
but
they?
if you expand that theory out, right? So the sun's that bad that it ages you that fast. So Shimmy Skywalker's probably about 18.
Yeah. And Boba Fett, he goes through the bloody Tuscans, isn't he? He must be about 23. Do you know
That's
what I
why
mean?
Boba Fett looks like he does as
That's,
well. He went
the
in
bloody
there as a
Tuscans are
30-year-old
too long.
bloke and come
That
out
was
as a
his fault.
60-year-old man.
Yeah. We didn't have
Yeah,
Ethan for too
That
many.
goddamn
Yeah.
son.
Yeah. How come you look so old? I did 4 seasons in Ibiza without the helmet. You know?
but like my favourite character is Boba Fett, but they ruined Boba Fett in the book of Boba Fett. They ruined it
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me.
You
Like,
need the enigma of it, and you know, making him some
Oh,
kind of heroic dad figure just wasn't for me.
well,
And you know,
Tim Morris said that he wanted to talk less and keep his helmet on more,
yeah,
but they
yeah,
made him talk more and take his
that's it.
helmet off.
You know, you've got 2 of these, 1 of these. Do you
Yeah,
know, we do the maths.
he said that Boba Fett wouldn't be a big talker like that, and he wanted to keep his helmet
Yeah,
on more than he
yeah.
did.
I mean, that was why he was so cool, wasn't he? You know, that was the whole thing. You know, that was the whole thing with Boba Fett. He was cool. You know, even in the holiday special when you saw him on that big stupid dinosaur, he still didn't say it out, did he? He was just
no,
rocking a dinosaur. Cool as. But you
like
know,
I,
this one where
I
he's
like.
constantly in the back of the tank in the old people zone. You know, and then helping his neighbour and you know not walking on by. You know, come on. He was a bad guy. Well, he was an anti-hero. That's why he was cool.
Oh yeah, like and the expanded universe books, like he has a deep hatred for Han Solo because he hit him into the Rancor pit. Like
Yeah,
throughout the entire Corellia trilogy, like it's just amazing, like how his hatred, and then when you finally caught up with Solo, like he totally changed. Like kind of spoilers there, but I love Boba Fett and Dengar. For some reason, I like Dengar.
Dengar, very cool. Another
Dengar
one
in
of
the
the
in
assassins. Yeah, yeah.
Dengar in the old expanded universe hated Han Solo as well. That's the reason he's got the bandage
Yeah,
on his head.
them boys, you know, Boss Dengar, you know, IG, Bobber, and I know it's a new one, but we'll throw Sam Wessel in there as well. But I did like that crew of assassins. I even quite like Sam Wessel just for the you know the face changing. Thought that was pretty cool.
And don't forget 4LOM, the assassin droid.
Oh yeah,
Not
totally, yeah. Yeah, he
IG-88,
looks
not
almost a
that
bit like
one.
the Fly, doesn't he? He's got like big
Yeah,
arms.
the guy that's with the
Yeah.
Zusk.
yeah.
Did,
It's
did you ever
Zuxport,
watch?
that's why he's got the fly head.
Did you
Yeah,
ever?
yeah, cool.
Did you ever watch the Boss robot chicken skit
I
that they
haven't,
did?
but I will after this. That is a
You
fact.
need to, because they're standing in there. I'll just tell you how the premise of it is, right? So they're standing there in the elevator, and the Imperial Star Destroyer went to go and meet Darth Vader, and with all the bounty hunters are standing there talking, and Dengar goes to Boss. So what did you go up to, Bossy Boss? And it's basically Boss starts doing it. He's James Bond.
But not saying a word. Driving the car with bow tie
He
on.
just starts daydreaming about this bounty that he hunted, and it's like you need to watch it. It's like I just watch the Robot Chicken Star Wars stuff. Is how I got my kids into Star Wars as well, and it was the scene in A New Hope where he doesn't like you. I don't like you either. I got my kids to watch that because the way they put the twist on it is that Dr. Evazan's just a drunk guy at the pub. And
and he's not saying any of that.
And the guy with the 3 eyes is an architect, and it's his drawing hand that he chops off, and he's not ambidextrous.
Yeah, and he's going, no, I didn't say it, no.
He goes up to Luke Skywalker, and he starts going, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." He goes, he doesn't like you, and he goes, that's not what I said. What I said was, I really like your hair. What hair product do you use? And he goes, and I don't like you either. And then Kenobi just starts coming in and just wipes off his arm. It's brilliant, honestly. It's really, really funny. And then they do a skit where they have Dr. Ball, which is like the interrogation droid that interrogated Princess Leia, but he's called Dr. Ball. And he goes, "You will tell this interrogation droid where your hidden base is." He goes, "Good God, man, this is a flu shot." And it's like this posh English doctor called Dr. Ball just like going about the place. Honestly, I love fucking Robot Chicken Star Wars.
There's that Eddie Izzard one, isn't there, where he voices, he's like got Star Wars Lego. And he's got Darth Vader in the canteen in the Death Star. So he's like, "Do you not know who I am? I'm Darth Vader. I can kill you with a tray. I can kill you with my mind."
Yeah.
That was really good as well. There's some good Star Wars stuff. Have you ever thought about painting the Star Wars? I don't know what the game's called, but you know which ones I mean, the Star Wars miniatures.
Well, the Star Wars Legion.
Pardon?
Legion.
Yeah, Legion, that's it. Yeah.
Again, it's time and money, isn't it?
Yeah. You can't catch them all. It is that simple.
It's supposed to be a really good game.
Pardon?
It's supposed to be a really good game.
Yeah, I mean, it's so many models, so little time, isn't it? It's literally that, you know. I do like the Star Wars stuff, though. I do like the Star Wars stuff. The quality of the models seem really nice. I got the Bobble one, but again, still not painting it.
I got my Hobby Vices Secret Santa through today, and I got the Combat Patrol Grey Knight set.
Oh, but that's a bit of you.
You got a Baby Walker.
Yeah, it's so cool, that model, isn't it? I love that model. That and the sisters walkers, you know, like the Ripley-esque.
The Paragon War suits. I gave mine to Sid.
Paragon
gave mine away.
Yeah.
I can't wait to paint it really badly.
You what?
I can't wait to paint it really badly.
Yeah, you've been after the Grey Knights, haven't you? Yeah, but well, they'll be cool. What scheme are you thinking? Are you doing? You going rogue?
Well, I'm trying to use this, especially moving back to Green Stuff World. I'm trying to understand how to use this Dark Max.
Yeah. I still haven't got mine. I can't believe you've got yours. I'm a bit miffed, to be fair.
Well, I did join the crowd fund for it, so I think they sent it out and they were really quick sending it out.
That first, yeah, fair.
Yeah, they were really quick sending it out. And it's decent paint. It looks like chalky, but it's actually quite smooth to touch, and it does. Like, I've half painted a Grey Knight.
I mean,
and I'm trying to do the
because I don't. I'll be honest, I don't quite get it. It's the blackest paint. I don't know how black can be, but I am excited to try it, and we'll see what it's like. But
it's so black that light can't penetrate it. Just like a black hole.
I quite like that. That is quite cool. He sounds like your sort of paint, actually, Raphael.
It's so when
I haven't tried it yet, but that is one thing I do. I'm not plugging it, but the GSW stuff. I mean, I do like the gimmicky stuff. I do like the mint fluoros and the weird basing stuff, and I think there's so much scope to do stuff with whatever brand paint it is you want to use, but not using it for what it was intended for. So whether it's contrast paint, dipping inks, basing stuff, I've used basing stuff for texture on Nurgle guys, or, fluoros for something else, or, even dipping inks as a glaze. They're pre-done, they're pre-made for you. I mean, glazing is a classed as I suppose, an advanced technique, I suppose, but the dipping inks just sidestep you having to water it down. And I think when you're painting and you're trying to tell people how to do something, as soon as you've got to mix something that's like 3-to-1, 2-to-1, wipe a brush, I think people's interest wane a little bit. Whereas you can
Citadel used to do glazes. And
I remember, yeah, they did. Yeah, the yellow was great for fists, definitely. And I don't know why they stopped doing them, but I think that as soon as if you get something straight out of a bottle and use it, I think people are more switched on to that. And that's what I really liked about the Citadel range to start with, was for every core paint, there was 2 highlights, 2 shades, and an ink and a wash to go with it for every colour. I mean, the contrast paints are garbage, I'm not going to lie. Some of them are great, some of them aren't. But I think they're just mixing paint with medium to make those. But I think that, as I say, whichever brand you choose to use, there's definitely scope to. With Citadel, I think I learned how to paint the Citadel way. It's perfect. It's such a great entry-level system of, these are the paints. This is how to do it. It's foolproof. Even if you've got no artistic bone in your body, you can still paint a really good miniature with the Citadel step-by-step way. And I really love the accessibility of that. But what...
Casey.
Or me.
Rude.
Or me.
But I think, you know, what I'm getting at is you know, the other stuff, like, as I say, like the dipping inks to use as a glaze, it sidesteps you having to mix a glaze. And if there's somebody out there that has found that hack or that cheat, you should share it and tell everybody and go, look, you know, this is how to get a really cool effect. Just straight out the pot, whip it on, done, you know.
So what would you say is the biggest difference between the Citadel paints and the GSW paints for you?
I mean, primarily, again, I've always been a massive fan of this mix of... I'm not a purist. I like dry brushing. I like dipping inks. I like hacks, cheats, easy rounds, panel liners. Don't use a marker pen. Use a marker pen. Don't matter. The model looks good. The model looks good. I don't think it's a cheat. It's whatever. But I think primarily the dipping inks for GSW, you know, I mean, as I say, I'm not trying to be pluggy, but they're made specifically as a dipping ink. So they dry matte, and they're not just a mix of medium and other paint. So they're all consistently brilliant. And the problem with using a wash, for example, that comes in a pot, is it dries shiny. You know, you can have medium to kind of take the edge off, but I just think that the dipping ink range by GSW is so vast, and you can use it as a shade, as a glaze, you know, or as a contrast paint. You know, they're amazing. And as I say, the gimmick paints for me, I mean, you know, glow in the dark splash gel, you know, fluoros, flip paint, you know, I just love all that. You know, the colours are mad, they're really poppy. And I've noticed since going over to, I really like scale. Scale's really hard to use. You know, the paints are a little bit inconsistent, and certain colour ranges work really well. But I did like certain ranges of the scale paints. They were, and Valero, they're, you know, the poppy paints are really nice. So I have noticed that my style's kind of changed now. I'm painting for green stuff. It looks a bit more comic book because their colours are a lot more poppy and comic book. Am I making sense? Do you know?
Yeah, like the old GW paints. They used to be very comic book.
Yeah, like, you know, Goblin Green style, or, you know, Evil Sun's Yellow. That's the green stuff vibe, you know. It's all sort of neon turquoise and bright reds. And I kind of like that. I mean, you know, and they've just brought an opaque range out, and I'd like to see some more pastels and one thing and another. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're using. And with the tutorials that we're doing, it's not go buy this to do this. I try and do the tutorial so you can use whatever paint you want. I mean, if you want to buy the paint, that's up to you, but that's what I'm using, and it works, you know. You know, it's the tutorial is the key thing, you know, is the key thing. And the paint is good. And as an artist and not a player or a law guy, all I'm doing is painting. So if I wouldn't sign up for somebody just to get free paint if the paint was shit, because my hobby is painting, and that's what I love doing. So I wouldn't shoot myself in the foot and give myself a crap hobbying experience just to get loads of shit free paint either. So, you know, it's genuinely, it is really good. And I'm not just saying that.
It's not a paid partnership.
Yeah, it's not. No, it isn't. But, you know, there's loads of paint out there. There's loads of brushes out there. And there's always going to be like little crystals of certain brands do certain things really well, and we all know that, don't we? You know, there's these sort of holy grail paints that everyone talks about, like the Airbrush Silver by Valero, you know, Goblin Green from back in the day, you know. There's certain paints, you know, like I really love the Alchemy, see the scale ones, like Necro Gold, and their metallics are really strong. So, I mean, you know, pick what you want, paint what you want, but the tutorials are genuinely there just to help you get a cool finish with whatever paint you're using.
Don't froze. Is he alive?
No, I was waiting for you to ask something, Simon.
Your expression didn't change. I was like, is he frozen again, or is he had a stroke?
He was absolutely miles away while I was ranting about green stuff.
Just like,
he was gone, completely glazed over.
I was like, someone just died live on stream. Jesus.
Yeah. Inferno's bored them to death by talking about himself again.
Well, what a selling point that'd be for the YouTube video.
Oh yeah,
Don't dies on stream.
Brilliant. I mean, just to think how many followers we'd all get. We'd all get interviewed about it. Brilliant.
It just go viral. It'd be brilliant.
Oh God, Doug, you let us down by being alive.
I'm doing it I'm dying for the gram. That's what it is.
So I mean, can I ask you a few questions? Do you mind?
No, you go.
Jump on it. I mean, I just want to say that I said it at the beginning of the stream, but I don't think you were on time. I just think, what you're doing is mint. The variety of guests, it's so good, and I'm glad it sort of took off, and I'm glad there's regulars, and I just think, just the range is so cool, and you're booked up for the new year, and is it all going how you want it to? Are you enjoying it? Is there anything you're going to change? What can we expect coming up into the new year?
Well, I think I'll jump in this day, Simon. I think some of the things that we've changed is like we stopped asking people as Phildrum Anons. We've stopped asking that. But I think it's just because a lot of people started asking not to be asked that question. So
I didn't warn Joe Poynton about that, and he sort of fell off his chair laughing, and I was like, shit, I forgot to tell him about that.
Yeah, I think it's either one you are going to answer, or you request not to. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, there's definitely no fence sitting with that one, is there? And he is, by the way.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Been asked, and he is.
I'm hoping to get. I think I've got We Feed the K's coming on, and another girl coming on. I think they're both Slanesh people, so it's definitely a question I'll be asking them. And the non-scale, how non-say is Phildrum. But I think just touching back on what you asked, like. We're actually the three of us are actually talking about going to the Birmingham something or other that Simon was talking about. So I've actually
the UK Games Expo.
Oh yeah.
So I've actually cancelled going to the Euros on a stag do to actually want to be going to this. Like I'm supposed to be going. I'm supposed to be going to what? I know. The first time Scotland have got to a major, the second time Scotland have got to a major finals, and I'm cancelling going.
Yeah,
they're not going to be in it for long. They aren't going to be in the Euros for long, so you don't have to worry. It'd be like a week anyway, wouldn't it? And they're out, so.
It'll be a glorious week. The hills will be fucking busy. But I think we're both. Speaking on behalf of probably Simon and Casey, I think we're just a wee bit overwhelmed
it's going
of
great,
how well it's been success.
Yeah.
It has been a success, I reckon. A lot of people who were maybe a bit wary, and then when we started the Legend series, having the likes of McNeil and Peachy and Duncan Rhodes and Chaos Lordbeard, who I tagged their own person in when I was promoting them coming on, which was hilarious. And even Chris Tester, to have these people coming on, as well as themselves, the likes of you and Lady Kane, which we need to reorganise, Daz, Moll, Warpy, the Nymph. We're kind of just overwhelmed at how positive everybody's been to us.
It works really
What about you, Simon?
Casey, the gaming. I mean, Simon, your knowledge is just photographic from the past 30 years. And just your angle with the question. I just think the chemistry works really well, and it's just honest stuff, innit? Honest stuff, and it's all community driven. I think it just works really well, and I'm honoured to be on twice. It's been good.
I think speaking for me, it's been nice to get guests on that I have no clue about, because me, Casey, and Dunk follow completely different people on Instagram and watch completely different channels on YouTube. So I sort of know all the gaming guys, and they know all the artists and stuff. Because the guy that. The guy that we've got on in Legends in February, the lore guy, I ain't got a clue who he is, because I don't watch I don't really watch lore channels.
Yeah, and that's why it works,
So it's interesting to talk. It was interesting to talk to Chris Tester for the same reason, because I had no clue who he was.
Before, Orc Daggers for me, from a gaming point of view, it was just I didn't know who he was, and it was just such an eye opener. And it's good to sort of push these other parts of the hobby to people that aren't in that area. It's great.
So it was interesting to talk to someone who's in that, I guess you call it showbiz side of it. And ironically, since I started following him on Instagram and went onto his YouTube, his shorts just pop up all the time on my YouTube when I come on. I think for people that I was gutted that I missed the Duncan Road stream because I had to work.
I missed it as well. I was stuck in bloody traffic.
If I was working from home, I would have popped on, but unfortunately, put me in the office. Couldn't really log on to that one. It's same thing with. I really enjoyed Peachy. I thought Peachy was a really nice guy. He came over, was really down to earth.
I really enjoyed that one. Nice to see behind the curtain, wasn't it? And to see how things were getting run, and it's all the kind of stuff you wanted to ask. You kind of came out with without having to ask.
I think the big highlight for me was sort of like Dunk with Graham McNeil. I watched Tabletop Tactics and Beard for 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And so to message him and for him to go, come on, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it was like, but when I was the same when I met him, I did say when we were on stream, when I met him, I must have circled him about 20 times before I finally went up and said hello to the guy. Yeah. So I think it's been a good mix. It's been a mix of people I don't know anything about, like Forges of Ruin. I don't know anything about cosplay, and it was interesting to learn about that. And then, so it's been a mix of people that I sort of admire in the hobby that I've had, that's been like, he's coming to talk to us, sort of thing. And then it's also been another mix of, I've got a clue who this person is, but I've done a bit of research before because you don't want to go in completely blind.
Yeah.
And I know Casey does go in completely blind, but I don't like to.
That's what I mean. It works.
Yeah.
I think that's why people like it.
It's been a good mix of people that I know really well, and it's been like fun to talk to them, and then people who I've learned a lot from because I haven't got a clue what they do. I don't know who they are. I've never heard of them pre Dunk booking them onto the live stream, and then that's got me checking them out and seeing what's going on. So it's been a good mix.
That totally translates. That's exactly the vibe of the cast is the variety, and as I say, because of all your separate knowledge, it's a really nice when you sort of take it in turns to ask questions. You get such a nice variety. You know what I mean? It's going really well.
I think probably the easiest guest that we've had on, and without a shadow of a doubt, is probably Mike Moans.
Yeah,
I think we literally asked him. They literally asked him one question, and then that was him for an entire hour. But he does that all day. I follow him.
I'm really enjoying his D&D advent calendars. Go on YouTube and go on his shorts. He's bought a dodgy D&D advent calendar off Facebook Marketplace. And he's doing all the days every day, and everything in there's been shit, and it's been amazing. Brilliant. I want Christmas to last another 15 days because I'm going to be really pissed off in 4 days when that finishes because it's been ace. It's been really, really good.
I'll check it, definitely.
It's the first thing I check in the morning when I go on YouTube. It's like, where's my
D&D advent calendar?
I want to see what's in the D&D advent calendar.
But Mike Moans, he was so welcoming, and I had a few people after he was on actually message me saying he was such a good guest. So having that sort of feedback from people who have watched saying that guest is brilliant. The likes of Forge of Runes, who I never knew much about cosplay, but the only reason I had him on was because that's who I got for my Secret Santa last year from Hobby Vices.
Right,
so that's how I knew him.
I think that's the point, isn't it? That's the point, rather than getting on sort of the obvious choices. That's what's great, like you were saying, I don't know anything about cosplay. I don't know anything about voice acting. I don't know anything about working for Games Workshop. That's what's desperately interesting is, seeing these people who are passionate about it, talking about it, and you guys quizzing them about it. It's mint. It's really good. Rather than the same old thing, what have you paid?
And we have had to try to have a wide variety of not just guys but girls as well, and unfortunately, Lady Kane had to cancel very last minute just due to work commitments. We had to substitute it with the influencer that is Mr. Simon that week as well. So we're trying to get more girls on as well to kind of just showcase the girls in the hobby because there's so many of them out there. as well. And it's just to touch on what ADHD Minis is asked, like, I've been trying to get Louise Sugden. I've played every possible Scottish card and messaged her. I've even had Peachy message her for me. I'm just waiting for her to hear back.
The thing, I think the thing about Louise is that she's gone massive really quick. I mean, she was always big when she was on
Instagram. I don't know her. I don't know.
So Savage York Guy.
Savage York Guy, right.
So she was always big on Instagram, even when she worked for GW.
Oh, right.
Now she's left and she's doing Rogue Hobbies. Rogue Hobbies, I think Rogue Hobbies is well over 100,000 subscribers now, and she's been doing it for a couple of months. So she's launched her own miniature range.
Cool.
She's gonna be one of those people where it's gonna take time. I'd love to get her on because I'd love to talk to her because I've followed her on Instagram for years.
I didn't even know about her. I don't know Rogue Hobbies. I didn't know about her.
Well, when I started following her on Instagram, I didn't even know A, she was a woman, and B, she worked for Games Workshop, because I just saw her minis. I was like, I need to follow this person.
Yeah. That's how it should be.
And we've got Pat coming on from the painting phase, which is maybe good to have on to see. His work's all about like photography and like video, and he now starts painting.
That's something as well to touch on, isn't it? I mean, that's half of it with Insta, isn't it?
Yeah.
The photos. I mean,
I'm waiting to hear back.
Within itself, isn't it? Trying to photograph something that bloody small, and it's hard, isn't it? It's hard.
And we're waiting to hear back from Jeff from the painting phase as well, but apparently he's terrible to get back to people on. But like we're fully booked. The Wednesdays are fully booked, and the Sundays are starting to slowly fill. They're starting to slowly fill now as well.
As a voice over to that, I think, to the Legends one. Legends, we need some. We'll get Raphael to do it. You can do it.
Welcome to Legends.
Perfect. Clip it, send it, validate it. Explode.
Well, I'm loving it. Like, even if I had one person watching every week and it was like myself, like I would still do it. Like people, when I reach out to people, like I reached out to a guy called Frozen Pharaoh, and he only has like 100 followers. Like he messaged me about, well, why do you want me on? It's like, well, because I'm interested in how you're painting, and it's all about their hobby journey. It's not because we're not in it for followers. We're in it to see how different people get into the hobby. Like one of the best examples is maybe for me is maybe Dave versus Shark. Like he got into it purely through lockdown. He never looked at Warhammer before lockdown, and now he's commission painting and he's based in the States. So to hear people's journeys, like a lot of the people we've had on, like maybe apart from Simon, they've been in it when they were younger. They've went and did their teenage and early 20s, and then they came back to it. Whereas like Dave versus Shark had never been involved in it at all. Didn't play Hero Quest or Battle Masters. There we go, one for the
Check it out the scorecards. He's mentioned Battle Masters.
Wargaming and Battle Masters. Done. The bingo card is full.
Unfortunately, Casey's not here, so he can't be late. But I was late instead. So there you go.
Done. Bingo. Wicked.
So to hear somebody come into the hobby just purely because of lockdown was interesting as well. And we've got Dyson Pigment coming on. He was like, everybody I reached out to, like, you sure you want me on? Like, what can I offer? So you're offering you're offering your story.
Just to touch on something that you just said then about followers is when I was doing the competitions, I was doing all the community stuff obviously before I was with Green Stuff World. Was the first one I did was the Chaos Open, which anyone could, and I messaged painting studios and everybody and said please enter. Then I started to try and tweak it a little bit and try and sort of cater for everybody. So I did one that was under 500 followers. So if you've got under 500 followers, that you can enter the Chaos Open under 500 followers. And the idea in my head, which was naive by me, was I thought anybody under 500 followers would be starting out on the journey.
Yeah, me and Casey, really.
But all it meant was that like those guys have been painting for years, but gone on Instagram and maybe not been great at the interaction side or the actual social media side of it. And they've only got a handful of followers, just not had the exposure, not promoted themselves, and they were like the 500 followers or less one The standard was mind-boggling. You
Oh,
know, and that
there's
was
some
me. That
really,
was me just not
there's some
reading the
golden
room.
demon level guys that are under 500
Yeah,
followers
it's
on
nothing to do
Instagram.
with how many followers you've got. You know, that doesn't reflect the skill level of your work. It just means that you're either new to Instagram or you're not big in the social side of things. So it was really great to kind of promote all these guys that were absolutely mind-bogglingly brilliant. You know, they just didn't have a lot of followers. You know, it was, you know, that's the point, isn't it? It's like what you're saying about getting these guys on. It doesn't matter about the followers. It's more about what
This
you're
is
doing.
Yeah, this is the thing about Instagram. I mean, I don't do this for the followers because, without blowing my own trumpet, I don't need the followers. But but
True
it's
that.
I
True
just
that.
I just do it because I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I mean, when we did that live where
17,000!
when I subbed in for Chloe for Lady Kane, I then went on for another 2 hours of Warpgate on his live just because I really like doing lives. It's got nothing to do with followers, but I mean the followers thing is right. I mean I got my followers because it's 3 years of plugging away, and then I had then I had 2 or 3 videos go viral, and once they go viral, Instagram gets chaotic. And so followers doesn't mean you haven't got talent. I am by far not the most talented painter in the
that's
world.
what I'm sort of trying to sum up. It's like, I mean, the other thing was that I've noticed that a lot of the top end painters, they only follow a very small amount of people. For whatever reason, there's loads of reasons why that is, which is if you follow a small amount of people, you can interact with all your followers. So if you're really, 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 really good at painting and you follow 100 people, you know, you can interact with the 100 people that are at your level, I suppose. And I think I've just shot myself in the foot. I mean, I just like the attention. I just like, you know, if someone follows me and it's similar stuff to what I'm doing, I'll follow them back. Or at least comment loads on the pages. And that's what I kind of struggle with. I always feel bad about, you know, there's only so many in a day. There's so many people you can interact with and so many pages you can talk to people directly. And I always feel that when I was coming up, it was easier to talk to everybody individually. It's like a really small community.
Definitely.
But it's almost like preaching to the converted. Like, you have to grow, you know, you have to share your experiences. And if people want you to help them with their painting and whatever, I embrace that. But that is one hang up I have about the social media is, if I've got 6,000 followers, not 14,000, 6,000, and I'm following 1,000, how much time have I got to give them the personal experience?
You haven't got time. Yeah, I mean, these people that
what I'm saying is these lives are a good way of doing that. It's getting out to all your followers.
There's people like Josh at Three Spies, who I know personally, and I've been down to Three Spies a few times, and I'll miss loads of his posts because I follow nearly 1,000 people. I've got 14,000 who follow me. You can't keep up with everybody, and it's the same. It's the same with messages. It's like I try and reply to all messages, but some days I just can't.
And then they
tried. Yeah, and then they vanish. You try to reply to all comments, but then you get some video. You get some videos that get some reels or posts that get like over 300 comments, and you can't do it because Instagram will only show you so many comments. And if you're offline for about 3 hours and come back, that comment's disappeared. And then I feel bad because I think, oh shit, that person made a really good comment 3 weeks ago, and I've just seen it.
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? You're like, you know, I am a good guy, and I am community driven, and I'm here for everybody. But sorry for not messaging you 40 people. Sorry for saying you were mentioned in a story 6 weeks ago. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? And I do feel bad about that.
I feel bad when I see like a really good comment and it's from like 6 weeks ago and I didn't see it at the time.
It's possible, isn't it? And that's why I think this sort of thing really helps with that as well. You know, I think it's a good thing to do for that reason, you know. But it's hard to manage. It's hard to manage. But, you know, I think we're all doing what we can.
Yeah, and it's such a good community. Like everybody tries to help everybody, and like as you said, like when you did that Chaos Open and had it for like under 500 people, like, but that's kind of like if we had a mission statement, that's what it would kind of be. Is like they try and get maybe people that are good at painting or maybe a bit shy, like to get them shown off. Like I think you were both touching on the same point that SJ Paintslayer was saying is like. You'll hit a plateau, and then you'll go quiet for a while, and it can get a bit overwhelming, I suppose, with like people following you and like the attention that you get. But like I enjoy doing this. It's nice to do on a Wednesday and maybe once every Sunday, one Sunday or two Sundays a month, and we'll just see where it goes. Like if we're doing this next year, fantastic. If not, then it was a good ride while it lasted. I think we've all made some good connections. We've all learned a lot. I've definitely learned a lot from a lot of people that have been on from the different aspects of the hobby, and I've made some like pretty solid connections. And I've met Simon.
I'm a really solid connection because somebody was after the royal court for the Necrons, and how much is that in Ireland, Dunk?
About €4,000,000,000.
And I said to him, I've got it in a copy of Imperium. Yeah. You can have it for the price of the copy of the Imperium, which is what Dunk, about 9-10 euros.
Yeah. And you know the funny thing is, it's still sitting in the package that he sent me.
It was probably €13, Doug, the price of perfection.
Yeah. I
consider myself a really solid connection.
It's what I kind of noticed. Sorry, just to stay on this thing we were talking about. It's like it's the wider web. So what I kind of learned was when I was coming up, I was painting just Death Guard. You know, I love Death Guard. That's how I got into the hobby. I was just painting loads of chaos. You know, my logo's the Chaos Star. I love chaos. That's my thing. And you get all your followers that are all similar, like-minded people. Mm-hmm. And then I got into commission painting, which again I love. But a lot of it was Space Marines. You know, 80% of it was Space Marines, which again it doesn't bother me painting that. But you then get a bit of a following from the Space Marine lot. And then when I sort of signed up for Green Stuff World, what was really cool was, in my eyes, was, right, I've got all my stuff to paint now, and I don't have to do any of this anymore, which I did enjoy doing, but it was nice to then go into my box and be like, now I can just get on with whatever I want in whatever order. So I painted like a massive range from Tau to Undead. You know, the Box of Shame came out, and I was like, all these models I've never done. I've never done an Orc, I've never done a Tau, I've never done Undead, I've never done this. And then what kind of happened was, you know, your followers, your likes all starts to go down, and you can't help but, you know, it's human nature. You look at the algorithm, you look at who's liking what. You look, I had 1,000 likes for that. I've got 15 for this. You know, I'm not saying you doubt yourself for what you painted, but what I realised was it's the wider web, isn't it? You know, I've got no Undead followers, and all my hashtags are all Undead related. I've got no Blood Bowl followers. I've got no Tau followers, because all my followers were Chaos. And I think what the Inquisition is doing is you're tying everything up from every faction, cosplay, modelling, top painters, lore, models, and it's casting that thing. And I think it'll only grow and grow and grow because it's universal. And now I've sort of done a bit more with Green Stuff World. I'm starting to build new followers for the variety that I'm doing. And again, it's so easy to get hung up on the followers and the likes and the patterns of it all. And it's easier said than done, but you just have to do what you love.
You just got to do what you want at the end of the day.
Sorry?
You've got to do what you want at the end. You've got to do what you want at the end of the day. You should be posting for yourself as much as for anybody else.
And if you post for likes, people see right through it, don't they?
I find the same situation. I mean, interaction on Instagram's down anyway because the algorithm's changed yet again. So everybody's likes are down. These people with like 100,000 followers who some posts are getting 300 likes, which is absolutely ridiculous. But that's just because they are. But just because they aren't getting pushed out, and you can't really. I've given up trying to figure it out now because like I'll post a video, I'll post a reel up that'll get 3,000 likes, then I'll post a similar reel up with a different subject and it'll get like 300.
Yeah,
it's like, well, what?
There's no bloody.
It's algorithm, it's subject, it's who Instagram's pushing it.
Don't use hashtags, do reels, don't do reels, do.
Do 30 hashtags, do no hashtags, do 5 hashtags.
That's the way. No hashtags, no photo, no music, and no reels.
So you just got to get to the point where you go, well, I'll just post where I want to post, and if it takes off, it takes off. If it doesn't take off, it doesn't take off.
Yeah,
And
100%.
that's the attitude you've got to take.
That's the
Otherwise, you go,
mantra.
yeah, you fall down that social media rabbit hole, and then there's no coming back.
And
Then
then also, you're not hobbying anymore, are you? Your hobby is Instagram, not the modelling.
yeah, unless you're Shane, who's just commented, I only respond to people if they send Night Lord memes, furry porn, and KFC discount vouchers.
You're in.
You're invited to the party.
We'll pick you up at 8, pal.
Bring your
But yeah,
furry
no,
porn.
that's it.
Bring your furry porn, and we'll go through the KFC drive-through on the way.
But it's hard not to, though. Do you not agree, Simon? Like, it's hard. Like, I hobby for fun, I paint for fun, but you know, sometimes you're only human. You do sort of, you're checking your life.
Feel it. You do feel it when, especially when I enjoy the interaction, and you post something, you think, this is a really good model. It took me ages to paint.
Yeah.
I'm going to have loads of comments. It's going to be really good.
12.
And then after 6 hours, you've got 50 likes and no comments, and you're like, I'm going to throw myself into the canal.
Yeah, I remember
I'm a shit painter.
The Kermit whip. I did that Kermit model, and all I'd done was paint the skin green, the collar yellow, and the tongue red, and it got like 1,647
Yeah, exactly.
likes.
Yeah.
When it was finished with an ice base,
About
it got 100 likes. I was like,
yeah, exactly.
What's wrong with you all?
It's like I've put a picture of a model that I've primed and put a first layer of paint on. Oh, 1,000 people like it. They're going to love it when I finish. When I finish this model, it's going to go viral. It's got 125 likes.
The lion was a prime one for me. I did the shoulder pad. The shoulder pad got 3,000 likes. The finished model got 412. I was like, that's taken me 6 months, that.
Doesn't make any sense. So if you let it bother you, it's just going to drive you absolutely insane.
Oh yeah. It's just nature in it. You get such a good value. You put so much effort, and as well, the other thing as well is you've got to remember it's the attention span on Insta, isn't it? You scroll up and go, that's good, like, next, that looks like. So I spent 7 months on that. You've looked at it for 4 seconds and said, like, you know, go back, zoom in, have a proper bloody look.
Look at you two getting 400 likes. I think I've had like 400 likes all fucking year.
I've got for this year. I'm getting approaching 260,000 likes for the year.
Oh my days, that is cool. Yeah.
But to be fair, 130,000 of them were on one reel.
It's still good enough. When I did my chaos night, that was like my post for that year. It was like I've had over 10,000 likes. 8,000 was for that one model. The other 2,000 were the other 68 models I painted.
So I'm going to ask you both a question here. From January until now, what's probably your favourite model that you've painted and your least favourite model that you've painted?
Do you want to go first, Si?
Bloody hell. Favourite model was probably the Zerka I did for my Goliath Necromunda gang. I really enjoyed painting it. I was really happy with how it came out. And again, it was one of those ones that got shit all likes.
Yeah, that's it. The best ones always do.
But it was my favourite model. Least favourite, that's a good one. Probably the Demon Prince that I painted, which did quite well as far as like attention, but it was just such a bastard to put together, and I'm still not happy with it. I'm not happy with the finished model. So it's not the model itself. The model itself is a fantastic model. I'm just not happy with the finished product. Everyone else seems to like it. I don't.
For me, it's a bit of a two-way answer. It's Batgirl, really, for me. It just summed up what I'd learned over the year and sort of summed up where I've got to with the green stuff, well, how much I've progressed. It had every technique and it was a bust. It was something different. But in the same breath, for both answers, probably the Lion. I mean, Batgirl only got about 90 likes as well. It was my favourite model. But the Lion, probably, I loved and hated it. For every step I went forward with it, I took 2 steps back, and I needed to get loads of backup. Like I spoke to Lewis, Sassy Nurgley, Dr. Brusher. I spoke to loads of people about it, and I couldn't get into the zone with it. And then when I finished it, I really like it, and I persevered with it, and I kind of like it for that reason, that even though I didn't enjoy it per se, the amount of techniques and what I got through for persevering was a bit of a lesson. So probably the lying for the worst and the best.
So Shane's just jumped in again with normal people check Insta for likes. Me checks in to see how many angry Loyalist fans have DM'd me about memes posts regarding the Lion being a pussy. If you don't follow Shane on Instagram, give him a follow.
I'm gonna. I'm literally. I like this guy. This guy's a bit of me.
He's very controversial. He does like to poke the bear, as it were. Yeah, he is. He likes to poke the bear. He likes to poke the old bear and see what happens.
Yeah,
he hates Dark Angels as well with a passion because he's a Night Lords fan.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, give him a follow.
That's one I've never painted. Night Lords. I really fancy a go at whatever he's called. The chap with the claws. Called Curtis.
I played Shane at Warhammer World last year with his Night Lords when he had a Night Lords army. And I beat him so badly that he said his Night Lord's army were going in the bin. And then like a month later, he'd sold them, which he still says nothing to do with me. But I felt really bad.
I was about to throw them in the bin.
I felt really guilty.
Absolutely, yeah. Here we go. Oh no, my Night Lord's got fucking trashed, lol.
And he just sat there. We were in Buckman's having a drink after, and he was just like, "This army's shit. This army's going in the bin."
And then 2 days later, 13 euros.
A couple of days later, he's like, I put my Night Lords on eBay, and I was like, it isn't because of me, is
it? Absolutely.
He's like, no, it definitely wasn't.
He's like, no, it definitely wasn't you.
I mean, I don't know which guest it was, but I say I don't know much about the gaming, but I really liked. Oh, it was the guy with the mohawk. What's his name?
That's Maul.
Yeah, Maul. Yeah, and that competition idea of not taking meta and getting points before for taking unused troops. So it must be nice from so many games all the time. You must see like repetition for what people use and what factions people use. So it must be nice doing a comp like that where you're seeing shit troops or stuff that doesn't really work, but the models are cool. Do you know what I mean? It must lead to a more interesting game.
We've got because triggered now. He just said I'd have honestly done better if I taped him to a brick and launched him to whatever.
We were on the we were on the main tables. We weren't on the feature tables. And so we had players either side of us, and there was another guy who also played Night Lords who came over to have a look, and he was going, and he was just going, "They're shit, aren't they? They're really shit." And the guy's going, "No, I really like him." He's like, "No, they're shit. They're shit. Absolutely shit."
I love the fact that they've still brought them, and then the strength in numbers. The crap are they? They are like
they're shit, aren't they? Yeah. They're the worst Chaos Space Marine faction. They're absolutely shit.
But they look the coolest.
But
you know what I mean?
They look really cool.
They look really cool. Yeah. Definitely not meta.
No. That's why they're in the bin. No, I mean, on
eBay. They're being used by somebody else. That's what
he's going to tell you the story now. Yeah, there was 20 warp talons, 80 attacks. Attacks do 2 wounds. Tell them how many wounds. They actually did.
Kidding.
He had 80 attacks. He was playing against my Custodes, and at the time there was a strat called Palladium Shield. So you put your shields together. That's it. Yeah, 1 wound. He had 80 attacks and 1 wound.
1 damage. Brilliant.
1 wound I didn't save.
And then they went in the bin.
I played the strat on him, and then he was just looked at me and he was like,
I'm done with the Night Lords.
He rolled all his dice. He did 1 damage, and he was like,
"Time for a pint." Yeah,
that's it. I'm done now. At that point, I saw like his willpower go and his enthusiasm disappear.
The lightning started fading on the armour.
Yeah, it was like me on Monday when I played Sisters, and the guy was going, right, this priest gives me unlimited miracle dice, so this is a 6 to hit. I'm going to make this 1 a 6, and then I'm going to do this 6 for damage. I'll just pick the models up, shall I? Just go.
I'll go. I'm done. Yeah.
It was that sort of moment. It was that sort of moment. I've been on both ends, and it's one of those moments where you just go, shit.
What's he about? The star was the bloody Mauler field, the unit, and it should never.
Oh yeah. He had a Mauler fiend, and I was saying he had a Mauler Fiend and a Forge Fiend, and I was going to shoot shoot the Forge, shoot at the Mauler Fiend, and he went, no, no, no. The Mauler Fiend's never done anything for me in any game ever. You're better off shooting this Forge Fiend. So I shot at the Forge Fiend. The Mauler Fiend comes fucking barreling in and kills five jetpacks. And I was like, have you just fucked me over? It's like, no, honestly, that Mauler Fiend's never done anything in a game
There's
ever.
only 5 kills to this day before he went on eBay.
So it was like the Mauler Fiend done its best game ever. The rest of his army needed to go in the bin.
He's kept that. He'll have kept that, won't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Posterity.
I thought he completely fucked me over. I'm like, have you just fucked me over? He's like, no, seriously, he's never ever done it.
So, have you got anything that you're looking forward to be painting next year? That's both to both of you as well. Have you got anything that either of you are looking forward to painting next year?
I really like the Cities of Sigmar models. I've always sort of liked the humans. So I've got a Navy Breachers kill team somewhere, and I've got a couple of the Cities of Sigmar models. I just think they're beautiful, really nice painters models. And also, when we're getting all this basing stuff and weird 3D printed stuff, I've got some cool dioramas planned, like a Space Marine at a vending machine, and also my sort of insane clown posse Nurgle, which I'm working on. I'm repainting the first strike box, so I'm going to do all the chaos in a kind of, as I say, insane clown posse vibe, and then I'm going to convert the ultras with the poxwalkers. So that's what's next for me, and I really want to get Catacross finished if I can just get it finished. So that's it for me.
Sorry.
I've got quite a bit. I'm looking for. I want to paint this guy, but I know I'll get bored because it's chaos. So I want to paint Lord Invocatus. But
it's such a cool model.
It's such a cool model, but I know I'm going to get really bored because it's chaos, and I always do. I like how chaos Space Marines look when they're done. I just hate doing them.
Trim nightmare.
I've still got to finish Imhotep off, which won't take too long.
Yeah.
And then,
problems, by the way, Simon.
Yeah, it's pity that the Necron list that I built, because I just took everything that I painted as shit. All the good stuff in game is in sprue over there. I just painted what I thought would look cool, and then I played them on Monday for the first time, and I'm like, yeah, I picked the wrong models here. And then I've got the Norn Emissary I really want to paint as well, and the new Gene Stealers I really want to paint them.
Oh yeah, I've never painted bugs. I've got a couple of the Leviathan bugs as well, and some of the character models as well from the Leviathan box to do for green stuff, which I'm quite excited about also.
And I am thinking about, I've got loads more Star Wars Armada stuff, loads more squadrons. I am thinking about painting all my fighters, but they're really, really small. They're really, really small.
Have you seen them Land Raiders? It's a bit of a trend at the minute. The tiny,
the
epic scale
Imperialis ones. Yeah.
Are they 3D printed, or is that an actual model?
No, they bought out Epic again as Legions Imperialis, so they're in the box.
Yeah, that's
like the 5 models on one base.
Yeah.
I remember Epic scale. Crikey, I do fancy some of them little Land Raiders though. They're pretty cool. Does that mean Titans will be affordable? Will they make them smaller for that?
They've already done it. They've already done it for Titanicus. They're about, I think the Warlord Titans.
Is it
this sort of size?
Titanicus epic scale then?
I think the Warlord Titans are sort of that sort of size, so the same sort of size as the Mini Knight.
Oh, this is news to me. I've not seen these.
Yeah, the Titanicus has been out for a while.
Right.
Now they bought Legion Imperialis out to accompany. I think there's 2 Warhammer Titans in the starter box.
I think you'll remember this, Simon. I mean, it was an epic thing. That Titan that had the house on its back from the 90s.
Oh, the Emperor class Titan.
Yeah, can you still get that? They've done a
no. You can buy it on eBay, but it's quite expensive. It's metal.
Sure, yeah.
And then there are some Maniacs who've made 40k scale ones.
Fucking hell, cool.
I think there's one guy who's making one now, and it's going to be 9 feet tall.
Oh, literally, I don't need another excuse to go down another expensive rabbit hole. I think I'll leave Adeptus Titanicus for now. I might get a
They're quite
Warhammer box.
like Shane's just said, they are properly nice models,
Yeah.
the mini Titans, but it's just like I think the Warlord Titans, even though they're only about that sort of size, they're getting on for
I like
£100. Mm.
I could probably shoe on maybe a couple of Warlords in them, maybe. I'll add them to the Christmas list.
It's better than
Some smaller
£1,000
Adeptus.
it's better than £1,000 for a
For a
40K
yeah,
for a 40K scale one. Yes, ADH minutes it was renamed the Imperative, but originally it was the Emperor class time.
Yeah, there.
So there.
So there. Get your facts right.
So, if you could pick a guest that we could have on next year, who would it be?
Me?
Yeah. If you could ask us to get a guest on, who would it be? And that goes for you as well.
I'm going to say Grim, aren't I? Mr. Boutique. I think you should get him on, or at least harass him and try and get him on. My brother from another mother, my patron and tutor and fellow Green Stuff boss, I suppose. I'd get him on so he can promote some more of the paint as well as me. Or, I mean, I think there's a few that would be really cool to get on. Lewis, if you could get Lewis to come on, or Dr. Brusher, or Dead Dancer would be a good one, or Apollo Miniatures. I think he'd be really good. For me, it's obviously going to be the artists because that's my thing. I'm a painter, so you know any of the artists that I follow and like, it'd be great. I mean, what's Thunderbrush? I mean, I really think he might be a good guest just because he's doing the comic book style stuff, you know. Or someone a bit mad, like maybe Studio Fortnite, who does all the sort of violent Blood Bowl stuff. That's really cool. But I mean, you're smashing it. I mean, you're smashing it with all the guests you've got. Just get me on again. It's fine.
You're right. What about you, Simon? Is there any special, any guests that on your bucket list?
There's loads, but it's just getting hold of them. I would really like
Golden Demon. Get him on.
Getting rid of the Scottish Irish toast would be great, Warpgate says.
I am the Inquisition, you fucking specky English twat.
That's you told as well. 2 out of 2.
I really want to get, I would really like to get Louise on. I'd love to get Louise on. Whether that'll happen or not, I don't know. I'd like to get Winter's SCO on, but he's very, very hard to get hold of. I have spoken to him once when I've met him and spoken to him at events, but I've only spoken to him once and vaguely mentioned coming on, and he didn't reply, so I'm assuming he doesn't want to.
Sky, do you still know every contact from the old lot? You know.
See, I was talking about this in the chat. I'd love to get. I would love to get Brian Ansell on.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have got an in with Brian Ansell because my godfather is Tony Ackland, so he's still really good friends with Brian Ansell. He goes there most Christmases.
I just think there's a podcast in some of your stories, mate. You should definitely do the Simon podcast with some of the props like the Christmas cards and some of the tails and the jag and you know all the old paintings. So, it's amazing, really good.
Yeah,
really good
so I'd like to get Brian Ansell on. But I haven't spoken to Tony for quite a while. I don't want to like initiate contact and go, by the way, have you got Brian's phone number?
Yeah. You're just a middleman.
Because I'd like to get Tony on, to be fair, but I don't. One, he hasn't got Instagram, and two, it makes me cry that people don't know who he is. Everyone knows who John Blanche is, and him and John Blanche in the day were the top 2 artists and designers for GW, and no one knows who Tony is. And it's like, it's Tony Ackland. You know those Chaos Demons you play with? He designed them.
Yeah.
There is.
Oh, Mike McVeigh, you should get him on. Mike McVeigh, he's on Instagram now. Pester him. I mean, you got Dunk, you got Peachy. Do it. Get him on.
I'll try. I messaged everybody. I found out that Aaron Dempsey Bowen lives in Ireland somewhere. Go and hunt him down. I think he lives in Tyrone.
Yeah, by hook or by crook.
Turn up at his door. Just say I'm the Inquisition. You've been imprisoned.
Yeah. Mick Priestley would be someone I'd like to get on as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool as well.
I think for me it would have to be like some of the authors, because that's how I get to Warhammer. Like, so it'd be like Dan Abnett's up there. Definitely, I think somebody touched on it. Major Chill, because his war videos are quite funny. Like, they are quite funny.
It's just
He just
Australia.
slags off.
I don't know what time you'd have to be up in the morning
Oh,
to go on here.
Cat or Rabbit as well. Rob would be good to get on. I don't know if he'd do it, but Cat or Rabbit, you know, does the stuff with Josh.
Mm-hmm. I think I've actually spoke to him. I think we just need to get a date
He's
that suits.
definitely one of my favourite people in the hobby, Rob. He's just
There's
pure legend.
there's a lot of people that I've contacted, and a lot of people, even that like Simon and Casey don't know. Like, I spend more time now reaching out to people than I actually do painting. Like, I've not finished a lot. I've hardly painted the last 3 or 4 months just because of the Inquisition, like reaching out to people. But there's a lot of people that I've made contact with that have responded to me, and I've like been in conversation with them. Like, for example, Jeff, I'm going to say that again. Like, it's just getting a date. And I can't remember who else there was I was speaking to, and they said that March would suit them. So it's just trying to get people's schedules and people's work schedules.
Every Wednesday, and some Sundays. You know, it's a big ask, and I mean, you know, it's great.
But I like it's like we're going to try and get more shops on. Like, so I'm going to reach back out to Air Hobbies. I've reached back out to Boltstorm to see if they'll come on for a kind of post Christmas chat. To see how they've got on. I think Casey's got some shop down in Landon is coming on. Like, it's just full time. Like, it's just, and then it's just trying to find the time to paint myself. But I think Lewitton would be a good person to go on. But it's just try to get him to respond. I've messaged him in every format. I'm following him on, and it's just getting people to reach back and just try to get dates. Like, you know what I mean?
We have this shop in York. It's called Boys, and it's like an old school, really cheap, small department store. So they do like, you know, non-branded clothes, like toys that look like Power Rangers that are Power Rangers, like cloth on the reed, like cheap sweets. It's like, and they also have like a massive Warhammer section, and it's like, it's basically like a market stall leading doors. Do you know what I mean? It's so old-fashioned, it's a joke. But I think we should just interview like Doris, who works behind the counter, and ask her about all the Warhammer stuff she sells. Do you know what I mean? Get her on. I work in the industry, you know. See if she'd be up for it. But it's really cool because they do 15% off all Warhammer stuff. So it's always like a couple of quid cheaper than Games Workshop. But you've got to sort of fight your way through people buying, like, you know, watch factories and Lonsdale trainers to get to the Warhammer near the fishing rods. But I kind of like the old school sort of model shop vibe of it, you know what I mean?
Fighting some old granny who's trying to get cloth to make a tablecloth for her table.
That's it, yeah.
ADHD mentioned just playing Liverpool. I've played there quite a few times. I didn't realise you were in Liverpool, ADHD. But yeah, just play would be a good shout. I can't remember the guy's name who owns it now, but he's quite. I think they've got a YouTube channel as well. So yeah, they'd be a pretty good shout.
So guys, I'm gonna have to call it quits because I'm absolutely shattered and I'm working in the morning.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me on twice. Keep up the bloody good work, and if you need anything, just ask. I'm here. So I mean, it's been great. It's been a really good laugh. And it was nice to do a second one and just to talk a bit more about stuff that's not necessarily that hobby related. Awesome.
Can you just show off your Funhouse jacket? Just I think Simon missed it at the start.
Oh, did I miss the Funhouse conversation? Does that still fit?
It never fit. It now does.
Oh, was it really big?
Yeah.
You need to go. I bet you go out in that at night time, don't you?
This one as well. This was a denim jacket I had when I was 7. See the size of this? So the cool thing about it is when I was 7, so I had made Guns N' Roses, Kiss, and then also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was a cool 7-year-old, definitely. Not as cool as the Funhouse jacket.
You need to go out and night with that one, definitely. I'd seen on TV.
Yeah, with twins.
I've seen on TV. Me and the twins. Do you want to see a photograph of me and the twins? Yeah. This is the photograph I can show you. I can't show you the other one.
And on that
So everybody,
I think we should leave it.
I just want to say thanks to everybody who's joined us and interacted with us tonight. It's been an absolute savage night, and especially for Nibron, so we've actually learned more about his psychological state than I think anything else tonight. I just want to thank everybody who's been on, our sponsors, both on Wargaming, also Richard for all his gifts and like graphics that he does. I want to thank Simon for all his 600 years knowledge of everything Warhammer, and Casey for being so late he actually missed the show tonight. As always, folks, you can find us on YouTube. This episode will also be uploaded, and I think we're back on the 7th of January with Pat from the painting phase, and I think then on the Wednesday we've got Twipster coming on as well. If you've got any questions or about painting, you can reach out to Simon and Richard. If you want some really bad advice, reach out to Casey, and then if failing that, reach out to me. Also, if you anybody you want to have on, DM myself, Casey, or Simon, and we'll try and get anybody on. We take suggestions all the time. Simon, you got anything you want to add?
No, it's been fun. It's been good. I'm glad you told us back on the 7th because I didn't know.
I think it's the first Sunday, so whatever the first Sunday is, I think that's the 7th.
So yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's been good. It's been fun. Thanks everyone who joined. Thanks for Shane for sharing the story where I gave him PTSD playing Warhammer. It's been good.
And for anybody who doesn't know, final words to you, Inferno, where can they find you on social media?
At Inferno_miniatures, or at any of the Green Stuff World socials, including Instagram, YouTube, X, or whatever it's called. I mean, any of the Green Stuff or any of the Green Stuff socials, or just my Instagram. Thanks, guys. You've been awesome. Keep up the good work. Big love.
Thanks very much. Have a great Christmas, folk, and a fantastic New Year.
Yeah, everyone have a really good Christmas and New Year. Some of us are working it. See you later.
I'm only off Christmas. I'm only off Christmas and Boxing Day. Remember, the force will be strong with you always.
See you later.
Always.